Well, Nebraska's season has already gotten off to a terrible start as we've been given the most controversial play call of the year in only week 0. What the hell happened with the Cornhuskers, and what does it mean for their 2022 campaign? Plus an update on some quarterback battles going on in college football. All of that on today's episode of 4th and 10. 4 college football stories in just around 10 minutes. Now, let's go for it. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. Before we even talk about what is going on in college football, I would like to share my brand new favorite turnover celebration. I would like to introduce you all to UNLV's turnover slot machine. I just had to start off this video with that because it's truly incredible, and I think it's going to be the best turnover celebration we get all season. Now, let's talk some college football. The Cornhuskers are officially the best 0-1 team in the entire country. After a historically bad 2021 season, there was some hype surrounding this team entering the 2022 campaign. About a month ago, I was reading some of my hot takes for the season, and I really thought that Nebraska could go on a 7 or 8 game winning streak to start their season. Just goes to show how wrong I was on that. Nebraska fell to Northwestern 31-28. After becoming a meme last season for losing all of their games by 1 score, the Cornhuskers yet again fell by 1 score. They actually had 2 11-point leads during the game, but the onside kick seen around the world completely shifted the momentum for the game. For those who might have missed this earlier, here's exactly what happened. Nebraska was trailing by 3, but they scored 2 touchdowns in just a few minutes to give them an 11-point lead, a 14-point swing that completely shifted momentum towards Nebraska. Scott Frost opted to go for an onside kick, but it clearly failed. After the failed onside kick, Northwestern outscored Nebraska 14-0 the rest of the way. Following the game, Scott Frost was asked about the play heard around the world.
Can you talk about why you decided to try an onside kick midway through the third quarter and what you saw from them that made you think it was working?
Yeah, in hindsight, didn't work. So anytime something doesn't work, you want it back. I made that call, so that's on me. At that point in the game, I thought all the momentum was on our side. I thought if we got it, we could end the game. Like, we had a really good chance of winning the game, and I felt like maybe we were the better team. And, you can't really foresee them scoring 14 straight and us sputtering after we played well to start the second half on offense. So, again, those are excuses. If I had it over, I wouldn't make the call.
Now, I will say this, I'm glad that Scott Frost at least owned up to it being the wrong call. A lot of coaches nowadays would have been too stubborn and they would have said that they do it again. He knows that he messed up and ultimately it cost Nebraska the game. Things just keep getting worse though for Scott Frost and his team, as he's now 5-21 at Nebraska in 1-score games. That's the worst record in the FBS over that span. They've also now lost 9 straight 1-score games. Against AP Top 25 teams, he's 0-13. Against Power 5 teams, he's now 10-29. The Cornhuskers are the first Power 5 team to lose 9 consecutive 1-score games since Iowa State from 2014 to 2016. While everyone is clowning on Nebraska, myself included, I will give Northwestern credit because they played one hell of a game. Ryan Helinski threw for over 300 yards with 2 passing touchdowns. Evan Hull rushed for 120 yards with a touchdown. Northwestern won this game and they earned it in the second half. Now, everyone is having fun with this Nebraska loss. They're down so bad right now how even the Big Sky Conference doesn't want to go anywhere near them. I mean, come on, whoever the social media intern is for the Big Sky, this is fantastic. But my personal favorite tweet from the day came from Brett McMurphy, who was the lone reporter to give Nebraska a vote in the AP poll. He also tweeted this after their very first drive. Yeah, you might want to go off Twitter for another week, Brett. Now, although there was a lot to be upset about if you were a Nebraska player, Marquez Buford seemed really optimistic about the loss.
Right.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It was exciting being out there on the field, especially with those guys that we have on our defense. You know, I love those guys with everything in me, so I just can't wait to see how we grow from this. You know, we played the worst football we're gonna play all year, and we only lost by 3 points, so that's pretty scary.
Saying they played the worst football they're going to play all year is certainly a hot take on his end. I mean, they just allowed over 500 yards to Northwestern. Yes, Northwestern had more than 500 yards of total offense. I'm sure it's easy enough to look up when the last time they did that was, but if I were to guess, it's been quite a few games since they've had that much offense. If this is what happens when they play Northwestern, what the hell is going to happen when they play, you know, the good teams in the Big Ten? The final question from Scott Frost's presser was whether or not he would ever consider stepping down if things got worse for Nebraska.
It's a hard one, but if things don't start going in the right direction, is there any point in time where you would consider stepping down?
No, absolutely not. I love Nebraska. I'm going to fight with the guys as long as I can fight.
I still think Nebraska is going to be a bowl team this season and double their win total from last year, but man, what an awful way to start the season. This was a game that they were supposed to win, and the fact they ended up shooting themselves in the foot and barely lost is remarkable. But college football is truly back. We have some starting quarterback announcements, starting with Michigan, who is doing something pretty unique. Here's the statement they released on Twitter. This comes from head coach Jim Harbaugh. "We have made a decision. Both quarterbacks have played great, done everything they could have, and in every way to win the starting job. Coming out of camp, I just feel like we have two quarterbacks, Cade McNamara and JJ McCarthy, that we feel very confident that we can win a championship with, either one of those two, behind center. It's a great thing for our team, but there's only one ball and only one quarterback can be out there at a time. So we're not ready to say who that starting quarterback is. But the decision that we have made is Cade McNamara will start the opener against Colorado State, and JJ McCarthy will start the second game against Hawaii. And then after week 2, we will make a decision going into week 3 on the starter and the backup." Well, sure, I guess. Colorado State and Hawaii are both games that they should easily win, so I guess they don't lose anything by throwing them both out there. But if they both look great, which they should, then what happens? I find it hard to believe that one quarterback hasn't outperformed the other up until this point. McNamara threw for 2,600 yards with 15 touchdowns last season as he was Michigan's full-time starter. McCarthy threw for over 500 yards with 5 touchdowns, serving as the backup plan. Earlier this offseason, I said that McCarthy would start more games for Michigan, and I still think that's going to end up being the case. Again, I haven't been following Michigan too closely this offseason, so maybe the battle has been really close, but this just seems really dumb to me, and it's going to make things even more complicated when deciding the starter. We have another quarterback battle that has been won, this one being at Texas A&M, as Haynes King was named the starter. He wins the job over LSU transfer Max Johnson and 5-star freshman Connor Wigman. Haynes King came to Texas A&M as an early enrollee in the spring of 2020 and played just in 2 games. Overall, he threw only 4 passes that season. He earned the starting job last season after the departure of Kellen Mond, and he threw for nearly 300 yards in his debut against Kent State to open the 2021 campaign. However, he broke a bone in his leg early in the team's second game of the season against Colorado, and he missed the remainder of the season. Zach Calzada was the starter for the remainder of the season, but he transferred to Auburn this offseason. So when Texas A&M ends up disappointing and finishing the season 8-4, Haynes King is going to be the guy we're all going to be able to blame. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. What are your thoughts on Nebraska losing to Northwestern? Was it Scott Frost's fault, or is Nebraska just going to underwhelm again? Also, what are your thoughts on the quarterback starters being named? Let me know in the comment section down below. Before you guys leave, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you love college football, this is definitely the place for you. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.